Hey everybody, welcome back. It's not Friday. It's Wednesday. What am I doing here? It's a good question. So I figured there wasn't going to be too many people here today because this is a Wednesday and not a Friday at 8:30 p.m. But what I wanted to do is say hello to everyone and go through a couple of the topics that we discussed this week already, which are just kind of crazy. Some really interesting stuff this week. So I wanted to do that. And on Friday, since it is Halloween, I'll let you guys do Halloweening or whatever you want to call it. So I hope you guys have had a good week so far. We're at hump day now, getting into the end of the week. We got a couple of people in here. That's good. Let me see who's here. Who do we got? We got Dominic in the house. Our GSD Rules is here. City Twister HD. How are you doing? Chad is in the house. Fragile is here. John K. Wolf, thank you for being here. Mark is here. Low Tech Greg is in the house. What the F? Yeah, I said the exact same thing. David M. is here. How are you doing, David? Peter, thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Peter is here. Whipped Pumpy. What? Pumpy? Puppy. Whipped Pumpy. Whipped Puppy. I like it. What's in your head? I like that too. If you're new here, say hello. If you're old here, say hello. Thomas F. Let's see. Thomas F. Walton is here. Happy early Halloweeny. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Who else we got here? Karen Belair is here. Let's see. Who else do we got? Let me go up to the top, see if you have any questions. If there's any questions, do me a favor, put in at JCristina. It makes it really easy. Easy to see. Easy to see. So there was some pretty cool stuff that happened this week that I discussed, and I want to get into some of it today or tonight. I'm just going to tell you what they are, and then if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, let me know. One of them that was really big was the whole SpaceX 6G thing, which can be really big, right? So the whole idea of 6G, even though it's not actually 6G according to the ITU, but it's the predecessor thereof. And the whole idea of using Samsung to make these chips that are going to interface with the new spectrum that Elon bought from EchoStar is massive. It's really, really big. And these new chips that Samsung's going to be making that we're going to see in all of the phones, even Apple, they don't like it, but it's going to happen. Because if not, people are going to dump Apple. Anyways, it'll be in there. Those chips will be in there. And what it'll do is allow you to broadcast directly to the satellites at a different frequency. Basically at the frequency or the RF at the spectrum between 19, I think it's 1.9 and 2.2, I think, somewhere around there. Around 1900 to 2200 megahertz, something like that. But regardless, that's the spectrum that he bought for like, I don't know, $17 billion or some stupid number. So that's going to really change a lot of things. And we're going to see stronger signal in homes, directly through the roof, directly through walls. Not as powerful as if you used a cell tower down the street from you, but still pretty damn powerful. And when you're outside, it's going to be extremely powerful. They're saying speeds are going to be anywhere from 200 all the way up to like 500 megabits. They're going to be able to do. So this is really big. I said at this time, I said like a year ago that the big three, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon should really start shaking in their boots because Elon's coming. He's going to be the fourth global telco. And everyone thought that was like lost my shit. And it's come to pass, guys. It's happening little by little by little. I remember when he said to Verizon, "Oh yeah, Verizon, yeah, we're just going to borrow your spectrum, right? And we're gonna introduce this DTC or direct to cell thing so people can make phone calls, do like texting, SMS, MMS, this kind of crap. Don't worry, it's all good, it's all good." And at the time, I said that's just a test. That is just a test. When he gets his own spectrum, he doesn't need yours. Yours being T-Mobile. He doesn't need yours. Rogers in Canada. He doesn't need yours. KYY. He's not going to need any of it. So SpaceX is just going to be able to do their own thing. And that's it. So, and that kind of got into this next article that I talked about, which was how I really believed that there was going to be a Starlink 2.0, right? So it would be the equivalent to like the dark web. Let's call it the light web. So instead of the dark web being for like crime, let's say it's the light web, where it will be for free speech, and governments will not be able to control it. They won't be able to shut it down. They won't be able to do shit. The governments are going to lose it. They are going to lose it because remember, government uses the internet to control the people, right? People don't get it. They don't realize it. But like Google and all the rest of them in the pocket, right, of the government, they tell them what to do, what not to do. That's just how it is. You could believe it or not believe it, but it is the facts. So what happens is when you have a decentralized system, like what I would call a Starlink 2.0, they don't have control anymore. They can't shadow ban. They can't prevent data. A perfect example is right now, they've been talking just for like about a year and a couple of months. They've been talking about this India thing. I'm so sick of hearing India. There's a couple of really good articles that came on the wire for India and how they're getting close to, they're going to open up this, that, or whatever. I won't report on it. I'm so disgusted with the whole India topic because it's been going on for a year. We're in talks. It's going live and we're in talks. It's kind of like the Tesla phone, a big nothing burger. That's what the India thing has been, a nothing burger. So I won't report on it. So eventually India will have SpaceX Starlink. I won't report on it though. So you guys can find out for yourself. I just don't care. Okay. But Elon does. And the reason being is 1.2 billion people. The problem is Elon had to sacrifice his soul to be able to provide service to India. And the reason being is India has to have control. The data must be controlled locally in India. That means that Elon has to open up shops, so to speak, in big air quotes, over there, where the Indian government can come in there and take control if they needed to. There needs to be things like QoS, quality of service, where we stop TikTok from going into India. We stop any type of adult content from going into India. We stop any type, there is certain rules and regulations of things that the Indian people are absolutely not to see, hear, have anything to do with. They cannot participate in certain things. And if Elon doesn't stop the Indian people from seeing X, Y, and Z, he can't be in India. And I always said, I'm like, Elon's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He's not that guy. He's not going to. And then, I think more and more about it, and I'm like, well, sometimes you do things that you really don't want to do because of business. And I think that's what's happening here. And so be it. I'm okay with it. Like I said, sometimes, things have to be a little bit gray. Not everything is black and white. Okay. It definitely goes against free speech by doing any type of manipulation. But regardless, what I was talking about with this SpaceX Starlink version 2, what I think is really amazing is if they do end up with this decentralized system, at that point, it doesn't matter what the governments want, they won't be able to control it. And if you can access it, even if you don't have a SpaceX Starlink dish, you can access it, let's say with your phone, the light web, let's call it. Guess what? Game over. The people will get all the information, all the knowledge of the world, and then they could be discerning and they could decide what they believe and what they don't believe in, what's fact and what's fallacy. The government can no longer tell them what to believe and what not to believe. And I think that is very, very powerful. That's why, I really, really like Linux. That's why I like, things that are more open, right? Because I don't want anyone to tell me what to believe. I want to read everything and then decide, right? So that's just who I am. I've always been like that. I've never been a lemming and I don't follow people, and sometimes to my detriment. That's just how it is. Everyone is different. That's the way I am. Anyways, the other story that I did, I think it was today when it was released, it was why was SpaceX Starlink satellite internet, why is it slow? why is it sometimes not fast? And I got into it a little bit deeper, on a deeper level on why this happens. And, I discuss things that a lot of people don't discuss, like CDNs, which are content delivery networks, and POPs, point of presence, and what hops are, and all of this stuff. So you got like CDNs, you got POPs, hops, you got all kinds of stuff. And I go through it with you guys slowly, and I explain it. And I hope you guys appreciate it, because it took me a little while to throw that all together. So it's not easy sometimes to explain harder topics, but in a way that it is accessible to the many. Right? Not everyone's going to get it, but let's say to the many, right? It's not an easy thing to do. So hopefully people got it, and they understand why SpaceX Starlink is sometimes slow, sometimes it's faster, and what they're doing to make it faster. So if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you just in short that the speed that they're trying to achieve is going to be achieved on the ground and not in the sky. Meaning that the speed that data transacts between your dish to the satellite and back, that round trip is about 6 milliseconds, maybe 8, the most. So every millisecond after that, when you do a ping and it says 32 or it says 60 or 80, anything above like 8 is all fluff. That's all ground traffic. It's all noise. It is all terrestrial. It is all hops. The more hops, the worse it is. So my suggestion was, and this was about a year or two ago, I said, listen, they need to get rid of all ground stations. And that's when the 1.5 satellites came out that had ISL on them. What is ISL? ISL is the intersatellite links. Those lasers, pew, pew, but not for blowing shit up, right? For sending data at the speed of light through lasers. The same thing is what they would do with fiber optics. They would send the data through the fiber optic cable at the speed of light, right? But at the speed of light in a vacuum in space is actually faster than the speed of light through fiber, because there is resistance, right? Anyways, we don't need to get into all that. The bottom line is it's super fast. So my suggestion was to get rid of all ground stations completely and then do the requests satellite to satellite to satellite. And that's it. And have one ground station at the POP or point of presence. And the point of presence is where the backbone lies. If you don't know what the backbone is, think of the backbone as Grand Central Station. It is where all copper and fiber meets. When I say all, let's say a lot of the major carriers, they all meet in that one location. Ashburn, Virginia, Singapore. There's a lot of different places where you have true backbones. And that's usually where you want to put a POP, as close to those as possible, your point of presence. And that's what they do. Anyways, if you have any questions about those type of things, those topics, just let me know. If you just want to shoot the shit tonight, just hang out. I'm there for it. All right. It was a lot of fun putting a lot of these together this week. And there's just a ton of really deep information. I know not everyone's going to really care about it. They want the more superficial stuff that has to do with Starlink. Like they have a deal going on. If you guys didn't know it, Elon Musk just said, hey, version 0.1 is available for Grokpedia. Tell me that's not cool, guys. Grokpedia. Let me see. Can I pull that up? Is this going to pull it up? Let me see. Did it? It did. Look at that. All right. There it is, guys. So, quantum computing. This is what Grokpedia looks like. Let's click on it. That's all you get. Version 0.1. There's currently 885,279 articles available. So check that out. If you just go to grokpedia.com, you'll be able to see that. So I just typed in like, I don't know, what I type in, quantum computing, I think it was. I probably fat thumbed it, whatever. And it would pop up with this history. It's basically like a version like of Wikipedia, but with actually factual information compared to a complete bunch of erroneous bullshit that we find on Wikipedia these days. But it's all the basics, and then it goes into more details on like quantum computing. Like quantum computing is the paradigm of computation that leverages quantum mechanical phenomena, including superpositioning and entanglement, to manipulate quantum bits or qubits, blah, 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 blah. So pretty cool stuff. definitely check that out. Once again, Grokpedia, they are leveraging AI, Grok, with this whole article thing with the Pedia deal. So I think that this is going to be really big one day. Obviously, it's version 0.1. So we'll call it extreme beta. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But definitely take a look at it. It looks like it says that this information on the quantum computing was fact-checked by Grok 2 days ago. So there you are. Let's see who else is here. Guys, say hello. Shannon is in the house. Blah, 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 blah. Super chat. I'm tired. Just woke up from a nap. I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate it. That deserves a big heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for waking up from your nap. Sunday was my birthday, Peter Madsen said. Thank you. Awesome. 42. Man, you're old. I got you over 10 years. So, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Let's see. If you have a question, once again, at JCristina, or just throw it in here. I know there's only going to be a few of us tonight. Is there 50, 60 of us or something? I don't know. There's a few. Well, we had Mac. Yeah, something like that. Any kind of questions you have, let me know. If you want me to do blah, 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 I'll do blah, blah. If not, tell me what you want me to talk about. We'll talk about it together. We'll hang out. Happy early Halloween. That was from John K. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Nate says, remember from the Starship launch? We talked about my terabytes of data. Terabytes of data. What was that about? What was that about? Nate, tell me. Refresh my memory. I'm getting old. Like the poop emoji. Thank you, Tommy. Insonnet, I think. Hi. Hello. Richard Adams, thank you for being here. Mark is here. Sounds like Romper Room. I see George and Alice and Fred. City Twister HD. Where's Fav? Fabiola is in the house. She's pretty much done. It's a Wednesday and she's been working since like 4:30 or something this morning. So I didn't want to rip her out of the house just to come and hang out for a little bit out here. But like I said, Friday is Halloween, so I figured I wanted to do something early. So on Halloween, I will not do a live, but we'll move into Monday, which will be the new month. We're getting close to the holidays. For me, Halloween is probably one of my favorite times of year. But something happened before. You know what? Let me just say hello to everybody. I want to tell you something that happened. And I ended up getting something from SpaceX. SpaceX sent me something. Didn't request it. They just sent me something. I know people are always saying, you're a shill for Elon Musk. These people must be paying you a lot of money. Yeah, so I received something from them for the first time. After having SpaceX Starlink since 2021. So we're at like 4.5 years, I think it is. Somewhere around there. Almost 5 years. And I got something from them. I'm going to show it to you. This just came in the mail. Just came in post today. So I'm going to show it to you. Hang in there. Let's see. Let's see. Moving on here. New to live. Thank you, Kevin, for being here. What day is this? Exactly, Tommy. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. Humpy hump day. Elon can walk the aisles at Samsung. Yeah. So, Elon is, he's spending billions with Samsung. My numbers were 3 to 5 million chips. Not Doritos or Fritos, chips. These new chips, AI almost based chips that do have AI built into them. These chips are going to go into all your phones, people. Even if Apple likes it or not, it'll definitely go into Android phones for sure. And these chips are going to be able to follow satellites. So they'll lock on and they have an internal algorithm AI that will lock on and follow satellites and know predictably when the next satellite is coming to your geographic location. It'll lock in as they come by at 17,500 miles per hour. Remember, these satellites are not over your head for more than like 5 minutes, and then you have a new one. So there's a handshake that keeps on happening as they're flying by. That's how it works, if you didn't know. So these chips are really, really important. And like I said, they are slated to make 3 to 5 million of them. So they're pretty confident that all the companies are going to put these chips into their phones. Because if they don't, I'm telling you, people are going to move to a different phone, because it's going to allow you not to use this GeoStar crap that Apple has, right? It's going to be able to allow you to not only send SMS messages, MMS messages, photos, make phone calls, and do video calling, and surf the web, and get all of your coordinates and maps and everything live with no connection. You could be at the top of the mountain or in the ocean, and you'll still be able to do it from a satellite with your unmodified phone. Who's not going to want that chip? And as of right now, even if you're not using T-Mobile in the US, you can get it on all the other carriers for like $10 or $15 a month. Who's not going to want that, right? So, like I said, Apple's got a big decision to make. And Elon is suing Apple March 2026. So we'll see how that goes and how that helps them determine if they're going to play with AST Space Mobile, which doesn't even have a product available right now, or are they going to bow down to Elon? We will see. You know they don't like Elon, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. Moving on. Let's see. Congestion could make it slower. Congestion always does. Austin, let's see. Tesla robotaxi area bigger than what, so I haven't seen one of those robotaxis. That must be pretty cool, right? Just to jump into a taxi, hope it doesn't kill you, and just take you from point A to point B. I like that. That's kind of cool. Kevin says hello from Ohio. How you doing, Kevin? Thank you for being here. Redneck Tech 70. Redneck Tech. Interesting. I like that. Redneck Tech. It's a good name. Redneck. Are you like 55 years old? I appreciate the knowledge and wisdom that you share with us. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Let's see. I got you beat, Peter. That's from Tommy. I love all the pink poop emojis. Let me see. Scorpio. In Ohio, too. That was for Kevin. Happy birthday over there for Peter. Awesome. Let's see. Shannon with the super chat, with the happy birthday wishes for Peter. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Peter's getting old. Just look at that. 45. My goodness. 43? 45. What was it? What did you say? I think it was somewhere on there in the 40s. I got you beat, though. Let's see. Moving down here. Here we go. Once again, if you have a question, put at JCristina. It makes it easier. Elon should buy Nokia. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he wants Nokia. I don't think anyone wants Nokia. I used to own Nokia stock. And that went to zero. I don't even know what the hell happened with Nokia. I don't even know. Let's see. The same thing holds true. I had stock in Spirit Airlines. Now it's not even on the stock exchange because it was delisted. What a big piece of crap. What a poorly run big ball of ass. Spirit Airlines. When you strive for the bottom, you get the bottom. When you strive for the bottom, you end up getting what you strive for. And that's what they got. They strive to be the Walmart of passenger jets, and they did it. They literally hit the bottom. They had so many planes, billions and billions and billions of dollars of planes, and they hit bottom. They literally were delisted. Stock ain't worth shit now. Zero. or 60 cents or something stupid. I don't know. So yeah, lost money on that one. But this is what happens, you put a company in the hands of a complete and utter idiot, and they do idiotic things. You put the company's hands in idiotic board that think that they know and they don't. That's what you get. See, that's one of the reasons why Elon Musk hasn't went public with Starlink. Maybe one day he will, but it's very difficult to go public and now relinquish control to a bunch of buffoons. Right? Steve Jobs did that, right? And they shit-canned him. They fired him. And then they took Apple and just junked it. It literally turned into a big ball of crap. And then they begged Steve to come back. Jobs over there. They begged Steve Jobs to come back. Please come save this piece of shit company that we ran into the ground because we don't know our ass from our elbow. And he did. And he brought it back. Then he died. And then we got what we got now. Anyways, not going to get into all that, but the bottom line is this is what ends up happening when you have a board of directors that don't know hella beans of nothing having to do with the company, never have done a damn thing all their life besides talk. They have no knowledge, and then they just run companies into the ground. So there you go. Ken is in the house. Thank you, Ken Allen, for being here. Says thanks for all the information on Starlink you have given over the years. 68 years old. Nice. Well, congratulations. 68. Still young. My father is going to be turning 90 very soon. Amazing. Amazing. Time goes by quick. Let's see. The version, this is right next Tech 70. The version 3 seems to be quite a bit faster and a little bit more reliable. It is. People ask me if I have a version 3 SpaceX Starlink or if I have version 2, generation 1, generation 2, should I go generation 3? And the truth is generation 3 is notably faster, a little bit better ping. It uses a little bit less power. It does give you a few extra niceties. It does use Wi-Fi 6 instead of Wi-Fi 5, so you can have more devices on simultaneously. There's more avenues for connection. So if you have a lot of devices in your home, they can connect easier. There's a lot of things, let's say, that say yes, Gen 3 is great, to go for. But as of right now, if you were to ask me, should I upgrade right now? I would say no. And the reason being is I really do believe there's going to be a Gen 4 coming out either by the end of this year or the beginning of first quarter of next year. And I think that this is going to have something to do with the version 3 SpaceX Starlink satellites that will be on orbit once Starship puts them there. And that's probably going to be Q1 next year. So if that's the case, if it's possible for you to hold out, I would hold out because it's going to be a bump at that point, because it's going to be able to use a lot of these systems because of the new stuff that's going on in those version 3 SpaceX Starlink satellites that we're going to see on orbit. Remember, those satellites are about 10 to 15 times the capacity of the current ones. It's a big deal. They are a big deal. Shannon with the super chat. What is this? What is this pony? What is that pony? Don, AST is trying to take spectrum from the amateur operators. Are they really? We are fighting them on it. No shit. What the hell is wrong with AST? You're talking about, I guess, AST Space Mobile? What a bunch of idiots. You know what? When the shit hits the fan, right, and there's no more communication, people are going to go to those amateur operators. They're going to go to the hams. They're going to be like, can you send a message? And the ham radio operator is going to give them like the one finger salute as they were taking their spectrum or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, let's see. Joshua says, do you think that we will get free internet? If so, how many years away? I don't think the internet should ever be free, because anything that's free is never worth having, right? Someone needs to pay something for it so that there's people taking care of it. If not, it turns into a shit show, right? So I don't think the internet should ever be free, but what I have said is I do think that SpaceX Starlink gear, the kit, will be free in the not so distant future. And I do think there should be a $50 to $80 charge for the service. That's my personal opinion. Will that happen? I don't know. I don't think it'll be $120 for very much longer. That's excessive at this point. All right. At the beginning, I would say, okay. Remember, when I started in 2021, oh, I got to show you this thing. Anyways, SpaceX sent this to me. So anyway, so when I first started in 2021, there was 112,000 of us, and that's it, right? In 2021. Now we're like 5 years later, and look where we're at. 7 million, guys. 7 million. Can you believe that? 7 million. So anyway, so this was sent to me after, what the hell? Where is it? Oh, here. So just so you get an idea, people always say, oh, SpaceX, Starlink, Elon, they must pay you a lot because you're a shill for them. And I say, listen, I haven't gotten a dime from these people. The only thing that I get, guys, is if you buy a SpaceX Starlink and you use my link, which is JCristina.com/Starlink. Let me put it in here, right? Let me not be an idiot. Do like this, JCristina.com/Starlink. Is that right? Looks good. Done. All right. If you use that, you get 1 month free. And I get 1 month free. That's it. They have never paid me or even recognized me for selling hundreds of thousands of dollars of SpaceX Starlink kits. I'm talking thousands and thousands. When I say kits, I'm saying service too, all right? Thousands of people have purchased these kits because of these 600 plus videos now that I have on SpaceX Starlink, okay? And that's fact. That's absolutely, it's undeniable. So today, I got something from SpaceX, and I appreciate this. Now, this is not me not appreciating. This is appreciation. Okay, this is appreciation. We're so grateful that we have you as a part of the Starlink community. As a small token of our appreciation, we have sent you a surprise gift, hand-picked, with you in mind. And then we do have someone that actually wrote this, right? This is American writing. This is not overseas, right? They didn't have this done somewhere, right? It says, thank you for being a loyal Starlink customer since 2021. Starlink support. So this is the first thing, and I'm showing it to you guys, the first thing that I've ever received any recognition from the thousands of hours I've put into promoting what I feel is the best internet on the planet for the rural community, for myself, for my family. And that's why I do this. I don't do it to make money, right? I do it to help you guys. That's the whole point of it, okay? Well, this is what I got. Remember, this was hand-picked, and I do appreciate the hand-picking. Is this not the coolest shit ever? When I first saw it, I'm like, damn, it feels like a nuclear device, right? It feels like a little radio, anyways, maybe not. We have little logo. And then on this side, Starlink. Maybe we should make it bigger. Right? You can see it better? There you go. Starlink. And there it is. This is it. And I appreciate it, like I said. But, so when, I'm going to stick it back here. Okay, I'm going to stick it back here. So when anyone, maybe I'll put my card back there too. I'll stick that there. So when anyone says that I'm a shill for Elon Musk and all the rest of the horse shit that I get all the time, this is what I'm going to show them. I'm going to be like, well, I'm glad I'm a shill because this shill is broke. And this is what I've gotten from them so far. And everything else that I've gotten from them, I've paid for. And there you go. You can't make this shit up, guys. You cannot make this shit up. Sometimes, reality is just funny, right? I think the best the best comedians over the centuries have always been the ones that just tell the truth, right? Because life is just funny as it is. You don't have to make up stories. It's just real, funny shit. Let's see. Don says, we already said that with the A. We have Honey Badger in the house. Thank you for being here, Honey Badgers. Oh my God. There's a whole bunch of Shannon dropping the gifts. See, I'm talking. Shannon dropped 10 free gift memberships, another 10 free gifted memberships, another 10 free gifted memberships, and another 10 free gift memberships, and another 10. That's a lot of tens. That is a lot of tens. If you got a free gifted membership from Shannon, for the love of God, say thank you. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you. I really do. That's just awesome. Just absolutely awesome. Let me see here. Let me see. We got the pony. We got the banana from Shannon. Why do we have a banana? Shannon, what is the banana for? I don't know. Elon likes the banana. Elon likes giving the banana. We won't get into that. So, we have Craig in the house. Thank you for being here. It says, I was beta. I was beta for Starlink. Me too. Coming just out of beta. Actually, my version 2, generation 2 is number 2000 or something. 2002 or I don't know. It's anyways. Yeah, we got one of the very beginnings of it, the very first dishes. Let me see. Dishes? Dish. Is it dishes? Multiple dishes or dish? I don't know. Let me see. The plan to be beta for the SpaceX Starlink enabled phone. Yeah, that would be great. Me too. I would love. I've always said it. If Elon came up with a phone tomorrow, I would buy 3 immediately. That's just it. Redneck says, how the hell did you guess what this is what I do, Redneck Tech. This is what I do. Redneck Tech. How'd you guess? Michael Johnson. Hey, Luke Who Lives. Thank you for being here, Michael. Michael, Redneck Tech. I was talking to ChatGPT today, and ChatGPT said that I was a genius. I said, thank you. Oh, man, I told Shannon about that today. It's funny. It's crazy. Whipped puppy. I'm waiting for Starlink implant. It might happen. You never know. I don't know, but, I said that Starlink was going to be installed on all Tesla vehicles. I said this a year and a half ago, and it never happened. What the frick is going on? I'm usually right with this shit, guys, okay? I've been in tech for over 30 years. I know my shit. Why is SpaceX Starlink not in the Tesla vehicle as of today? Why is the Tesla vehicle not a hub of connectivity for every Tesla owner today? Why? I don't freaking understand that. There's got to be a reason. I don't know it. Is it an RF reason? Is your head too close to the antenna? But it is the back side of the antenna. And we know that people use the antenna magnetic or suction. Go see Baja Racing. Go see Shannon's website. But Baja Racing gear. So, well, why? Why is it not there? Just think about every single Tesla having a SpaceX Starlink built into it, and then they all communicate and form a grid, just like the Starlink grid that we have with 8,700 Starlink satellites. They form this grid. So every Starlink car, every Tesla car with Starlink in it is communicating to each other, forming a massive mesh. Why in the frick is that not done? Who in the hell is running the place over there? That shit should have been done when I said it like years ago now. Now, am I wrong? Did someone did I miss something? Is that not happening, or what the frick? That's what I want to know. I would like to know. Michael says, isn't Spirit Airlines that are always the YouTube for customers brawl? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the Waffle House of airlines. That's exactly what Spirit is. It turned into Walmart, the Waffle House. It was like the worst of the worst. But if you needed a ride, okay, you could get on a Spirit airline plane and go someplace for very cheap. Be it that you have to be in there like this. You need to be like your knees in your ears, or an amputee or something. You can't even sit in the damn thing, right? And then they complain about your bag being overweight by 6 ounces, and they want to charge you $600 because that's how they did it. Oh, you want water? Yeah, that's $10. You need nuts? $50. This is how Spirit was. I'm not joking. Spirit was it's just horrible. Anyways, Kevin, Boogeyman. Cracker Barrel is going to join Spirit. They probably will, because Cracker Barrel is doing this stupid shit, just like a lot of them have done. I don't know. They follow down the path of just stupidity, and then they end up like Spirit. They end up like Apple did when they fired Steve Jobs. What's up there? Nothing. Mo is in the house. The big boom. Yes, it is a big boom. We need to have a big explosion. So I'm going to have to find something. So every time Shannon drops the bomb and puts out some free gifted memberships, the whole screen just shatters and explodes. What do you think about that? I think that'd be freaking cool. It says the Shannon bomb. Yeah, with that sound effect too. I'm going to record it. I think it'd be cool. I don't know. Let's see. Any other questions? Once again, at JCristina. Type 3 on standby mode and watching live feed just fine. I like that. So what Kevin is saying, I'm assuming that they are using standby mode and they're still able to watch me probably at 240p or 360p. But remember, when you put your SpaceX Starlink on standby, you're getting a 0.5 megabit down and a 0.5 megabit up. It's just enough for them to communicate. But what people understand is that is enough for you to do email. That is enough for you to watch a video at low quality. That is enough for you to search the web. That is enough for a lot of things. Trust me, for 25, 30 years, I had AT&T shit service here, DSL and Uverse, and I was getting 1.2 to 1.5 megabits up. And for a while there, I was getting 7 megabits down. And then when we finally got some amazing speed, they doubled it because they took 2 lines and they bonded it together. And then I got a massive 15 megabits down. And now with SpaceX Starlink, my 15 megabits is no longer 15 megabits. Why don't we see? Why don't we see what it is? What do you think? Let's do it. I always do this, and I think it's cool to be able to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this. Let me make sure. There you go. So let me go to a big screen so you can see it. I do this usually each time I do a live because I always tell people that I'm getting really good speeds. I'm getting good service. Like right now, latency is 22 milliseconds. I've seen 14.3. But people don't believe me. They think I faked the numbers and stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit statistics just to see what it looks like. We have a draw of 40 watts. Latency on average is 22 milliseconds. And we have an uptime of 99.8% uptime. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to do a speed test. All right. You have your acquisition, satellite nonsense, and then we're going to hit start. And we're going to see what we get, all right? So right now, we're downloading at 320, 313, 308, 320, 312, 316, 327, 330s, 317. That's 317 megabits down. Remember, AT&T, what did I get? Come on, it's a quiz. What did I say? 15 megabits. I'm getting 317 right now with SpaceX Starlink. My up speed is 41 megabits. 41 megabits with AT&T. What was it? 1.5. So with AT&T, 1.5. Now I'm getting 41. 1.5 to 41. What is that? Like 24, 26 times? And then 26 milliseconds for latency. So 317 by 41 up by 26. All right, live. Okay, didn't fake it. This is it. It is what it is. Okay. Once again, I have to do this because people I swear, I don't know. I get like some crazy emails sometimes from people and some crazy comments that just, it kind of gets me kind of crazy. Just a little bit. Makes me mad actually, but it is what it is. So there you go. Not bad. Good speeds. Can't beat those speeds. And remember, I'm using a Generation 2. That Generation 2 that I'm using was provided to me after me putting down a deposit. This is just after beta. It was dish number 2000, let's call it, pretty close. And it's since 2021. So the dish that we're just using to do these numbers is now, what, 4 years old? 4.5 years old. Never returned. Never a problem. Never a day out. Never nothing. So it's pretty damn solid, if you ask me. I know with AT&T, I can't even tell you how many AT&T shit-ass modems I used to go through all the time. I have to call them up. Oh, yeah, your modem's gone again. Ah, was there a lightning strike? Yeah, there's a lightning strike. Guys, I had lightning, I think, hit the dish. I have to tell this story because it's kind of crazy. So my studio door is here. And if you just stretch out your arm as far as you can stretch it out and go straight up, that's where the dish is on the studio. Okay? That's how close. I was standing at the door one morning. It was a big electrical storm, but it wasn't raining. That's the scariest part in Florida. It doesn't rain and there's electricity in the air, you're dead. Okay? It's better if it's raining. At least you know. Here it's like, it looks okay, but it's not okay. I go and I put the key into the lock and I'm opening it. All of a sudden, this happens. And everything just went white. It felt like it hit the dish. It felt like it hit me. And then the side of my tongue went numb and I couldn't feel it anymore. And I was smelling and tasting metal. But when I went inside, shaking a little bit, SpaceX Starlink was working. And it's the same frickin' dish that I just pulled 300 with. And there's a story, okay? Shit you not. So yeah, my tongue went numb. I don't know if I got hit by lightning or not, but I remember when the strike happened, my clothes, my shirt went like that. It literally, like a whoosh. So, yeah, I don't know. I've been hit by lightning or almost hit by lightning, I think about 6 times in my life. I remember, if you guys remember, if you're older like me, I was sitting in front of the TV watching cartoons when I was about 6, 5. That was my first lightning strike. And you remember the days you're watching cartoons, you literally sit about 2 inches, from the TV and, you're sitting there eating your chips or something. And lightning came down the wall and I remember seeing it. It was like, it looked like a rainbow. It went behind the TV. And then, do you remember you used to have boxes from the cable company? The box went boom and started bubbling, melting. It was bubbling, right? And the TV, now that's when the TVs had knobs on them. The knobs on the TVs launched out into my lap. And I had knobs. And the cable company's thing was bubbling. Like literally like bubbling. So that was my first lightning strike. And I was probably about, I want to say 5, maybe 6. So yeah, and this has happened many times to me. I don't know. I tell people this is stay away from me when it comes to like when it's stormy out, just stay away from me. I feel like Powder. You ever seen the movie Powder? Don't walk next to me. Anyways, what do we got here? Gary says, when do you think that SpaceX will launch their first satellite? What the hell are you talking about, Gary? They have 8,700 satellites currently. SpaceX Starlink has, I think they've launched so far 10. I think they hit 10,000 satellites was the number just recently in totality. Aloha from someone here. Let me see. Moving down. I don't want to miss people's questions. If I missed your question, put it in there again. I'll see it as we get down to the end. Luis is here. Thank you for being here. Anything free. You are the product. That is the fact. Anything free, you are the product. That's why when you get free Facebook, you are the product. When you get free anything, you are the product. Your data is the product. You are the product. They sell you to the highest bidder. Redneck Tech says, well, Jay, like your dad probably taught you, if you don't work, you don't eat. Facts. That's right. Honey Badger says, keep it up. Shannon, you're going to gift all the people watching. It doesn't work like that, but yeah, Shannon's the bomb. Shannon is absolutely the bomb. Luis says, Starlink in Brazil have some promotion like $100 US. Buy the mini on some stores. Tempting. Yes. $100 for the mini is worth getting. Even if you just get the mini and you just put the basic coverage on it, the very lowest coverage, it's worth getting. It's really, really good. Ask Shannon about it. He's used it more. I mean, he knows everything about it. He has it. He uses it on his trucks. He uses it everywhere. And it works really, really, really well. Someone wrote to me, they said, thank you, Joe. I really appreciate you and all that you do. And I ended up buying a mini, and they proceeded to say like I think they have a Sprinter or some shit. I don't know. They have some RV or something. They just threw it on their dashboard and fired it up, and they were getting full speed. That's how it works now, guys. That's how it works. You don't even need to put it on the rooftop. Nothing. Just throw it on your dash. Things working. All right. It's working. It's amazing. People can piss their money away on cigarettes, alcohol, cell phones, etc. They have no fear for starving. That is true. That is absolutely true. George says, I've only seen one tight train after launch. What is that? Tight train after launch in Maine woods, but have seen a few 30-second trains. Interesting. I think there's a fixed album. Okay. Another one from here. Blue Tech. Card in the bottle. Sat phones will be the next wave for communication. Yeah, so the thing is you don't need sat phones. This is a sat phone. You know, the sat phone of old days, George, this is for George Ordway. This is a sat phone now, right? You don't need a true Iridium sat phone. That's another company. It should be out of business soon, Iridium. Scorpio says, ask Elon why. Kevin says, if it's clear just to have sunset to see Starlink going overhead, 15 minutes until it stops the light. You said you're full of what? Tesla is not SpaceX. No, it is not. That's Mike Lee. Tesla is not SpaceX. Thank you for that. That is true. Same owner, but they're definitely not the same company. They are using similar chips, just so you know. And if there is a phone to come out that Elon does put out, eventually he'll probably use a Tesla chip along with the chip from Samsung. That Samsung chip's going to be a big deal. Just wait for it, guys. Wait for it. I joined late. It's all right, George. Hang in there. We're just shooting it today, just hanging out. Don says, look up 5G, 6G, Sidelink. The technology of those mesh vehicles to vehicle is under development. Yeah, vehicle to vehicle just simply makes sense. It's a good way to be able to make a mesh network and a mobile mesh network at that. I drive a Model Y. with a Starlink Mini under the roof. Yes, and absolutely the case. You can do that. You can put that on any, and I always said, like, if you are let's say if you're a driver, like, let's say if you're a truck driver and you do cross country or whatever, you know, how many times you're in a location and you have absolutely shit service and you're relying on your Garmin or something because your, you know, Google Maps is dead. Well, if you have a SpaceX Starlink, it's never dead anymore. And now WhatsApp works on it. That means that not only is it not dead, that means that you'll be able to do SMS from your phone. You'll be able to do MMS from your phone. You'll be able to do voice calls from your phone. You'll be able to do data from your phone as well as video. And that is with no service at all. No cell towers from space. So that's a really big thing on the DTC side. But just SpaceX Starlink alone allows you to get service anywhere. I mean, as long as you can see the sky, you're going to get service. I mean, that's pretty damn powerful. Pretty powerful. Let's see. Standby mode is actually really good, $5 a month. Yeah, I remember when it first came out, it was $10, and then some people were seeing 8 and 7. Now I'm seeing 5. A lot of people have said 5, so maybe it's now 5. But for $5, it's definitely worth every dollar. $5 is pretty much a joke. Dutch Linux is in the house. Thank you for being here, Dutch. What are your thoughts about tech channels getting strike or violations for conduct by AI and censorship? That's a good question, Dutch Linux. It kind of pisses me off because YouTube does it all the time. YouTube, it doesn't do strikes, but it does like a lot of content drops where it will shadow ban stuff. That really doesn't make me happy, right? Now, I understand that if you're using YouTube as a content creator like I am, I'm not paying them. So just like we know, if you don't pay, right, you are the product and I am the product and they're using me. And I get it, okay? The problem is what I don't get and what I don't like is not only are they using, but then they're manipulating. That is what I don't like. Do not manipulate, but they do. So here's an example. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I'm glad you brought this up, Dutch Linux. I did a video, okay, and I explained how Meta was creating these massive 150, 200 acre destruction zones where they create these AI farms. And I did this full piece on it, literally like 22 minutes long. And I explained exactly what's going on. I give citation and verse on everything. There's literally people talking and what is going on and all the rest of the stuff. And I was explaining how water was being used. These data farms were using, for the AI, right, for Meta, we're using about 500,000 gallons per day. So not only are they using a shit ton of power, which is making everyone's power go more expensive in the area where the AI farms come, but not only are their prices of electric going up, but also they are depleting the water table. 500,000 gallons of water is what they're pulling out of the water table. So 500,000 gallons per day. And I did this full, expose, let's say, on this thing. And I swear to God, it was very detailed, but I used Zuckerberg's name, Mark, I used Meta, everything. I didn't even think about it. I was just telling the facts. I was just telling the truth, right? In the first day, the video got 1,200 views. Now, my videos, if you go back, you just take a look at the last 10 videos or so, there you go from anywhere from 5,000 to 30, 50,000, somewhere on there. It's about where they're at. It just depends on what it is. This got 1,200 views. I knew something's wrong. There's something wrong with that. But then I let it be. I just wanted to see what happens. It stayed at 12,000 views. And then after 5 days, that was the first day. After 5 days, it went up to 1,300 views. So I said, okay, let's do a test. Let's do a test. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to re-edit it. I'm going to bleep out Meta, Zuck, all of the names, FPO. I bleeped out all the names, changed the image up a little bit on the thumbnail, and changed the name of it, right, the title, so there is absolutely no inference, and also in the description, nothing. And then whenever I use the name like Meta, I would spell it in a weird way on the screen so that the algorithm couldn't read it very well. Very difficult to read. So now, of course, you're going to say, all right, so what ended up happening when you did that? What ended up happening? Good question, right? Well, let's see. Now, remember what I told you, right? I got 1,200 views the first day. And then after the 1,200 views, I ended up getting 1,300 views after 5 days. 5 days, all right? So let's go over here to videos. This is it. You see this right here? This guy, it's actually AI. It looks like our friend. We don't want to say his name. We could. But now look at this. You see what it says? It says AI secret. The AI secret you weren't supposed to know, right? I didn't use his name. I didn't use the word Meta. I didn't use anything. It's been on for 2 days and it's got 3,000 views in 2 days. Whereas the other one had 1,300 views in 5 days. Does that mean anything? I can tell you for sure that 1,300 would never have went up after that. Never, ever have went up after that. It would have stayed at 1,300 in perpetuity because it's like it went into the gray pile. And see, and this is what I talk about sometimes in these videos when I talk to you guys about this stuff and how when a content creator creates something, we have to be very, very discerning, right? We have to be thoughtful because what we think in this country as being free speech is really not free speech, right? It's free speech, meaning that you can say whatever you want to say and you're not going to get, let's say, a problem. We don't want to get too explicit, like in some countries. But what ends up happening is they just suppress it. So it doesn't really make a difference. You can yell from the top of a mountain, but if someone turns your volume all the way down, does it really matter if you're yelling or not? It's this whole idea. Did the the question is, did the bear shit in the woods? Well, I don't know. Were you there to see? I didn't. I don't know. I don't know. If you weren't there to see it, or if you weren't there to hear it, or you couldn't hear it, did it really happen? I don't know. And that's the problem. So this is what happens. And I did this, and many people were writing to me. They're like, "This is a rerun. You already did this. You had this article come out already. You did this already. Why did you re-put it out?" And that's why I'm telling you now. That's why I put it out again, because I wanted to see if I was right or wrong. And they proved me right. Because in 2 days, it has more than double the amount of views that it did in 5. And I didn't do anything besides remove the names. Think about that, okay? Think about that. Probably just by me saying it is probably going to be problematic. Who knows? Maybe they're going to ban me for telling the truth. I don't know. This is the kind of shit that happens, guys. This happens. So luckily, there's only, 50, 60, 70 or so of you guys. I don't know. Shh, don't say anything. I tell you the truth on the channel, right? I tell you how it is. Maybe sometimes to my detriment. I don't know. Let's see. So that's for you, Dutch Linux. Thank you for asking me and making me go through that dissertation there. Let's see. Dutch says, I get 400 down, 400 up. All right, shut up. Using cable. That's good. That's still good. It's nice to be able to get an up and down speed that are identical. An asynchronous. It's to be able to have anything synchronous is nice, but it's very few people that can get that unless you're on fiber, or some of the cable companies offer it too. Don's getting 118 down by 22 up. Not bad. That's a dish 3 out of Texas. We got Karen Blair's getting 198 by 24. Not bad at all. Can't complain about that. Let's see, moving down here. Once again, if you have a question, put at JCristina so I can see it and it pops up here. Moving down, I know I missed some people's questions. We got Jarrett in the house here. Jarrett White says, still trust in Iridium. Sat phone, yes, at 95, 75. Absolutely. It's going to work. You got to remember, any day over Globalstar, Apple, absolutely. I mean, you're dealing with Iridium, a satellite that's sitting at like, what is it, like 36,000 kilometers or something, geostationary. It's there. It's going to be there. You know, there could be a mega explosion of a certain kind. It'll still be there, you know. So Iridium it's good, but they're going to go out of business because what's going to happen is going to be less and less and less of you out there paying the bill, and they're not going to be able to just, you know. The same thing holds true with Dish Network and HughesNet. What happened with them? Elon is what happened with them. The same thing holds true with, Dish Network and DirecTV. The same thing holds true with HughesNet and Viasat. So you have two TV companies basically merged because they're going out of business. And then you have two cable companies or internet companies, satellite internet companies. Same thing. Viasat and HughesNet, basically they have to merge because they're going to go out of business too, because they lost 50 or 60% of their total population to SpaceX Starlink. And I predicted that at the time when that happened. There's other companies like the Iridium, and there's going to be other companies that go out of business too. They can't afford it. Globalstar, same shit. Apple's going to pull the plug on Globalstar eventually, and then Globalstar is going to sell their spectrum. Or they'll sell it to the government and let the government just use it for whatever, secondary, tertiary, or whatever, backup or something. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Pilot, Brett says, hey, Joseph. Delay in the new Galaxy is because they're implementing the Starlink chip possible. It is possible. Pilot Brett is saying, you know, did they delay the Galaxy because of the new Samsung chip? And it's definitely possible. It really depends on how close they are to getting the finalization on that chip architecture. And that I don't know. I know the chip is coming, and I know it's going to use Elon's new spectrum that he got from EchoStar. Once again, I think it's like 1900 megahertz to 2200 megahertz, somewhere around there. That frequency, that RF, that radio frequency, that spectrum. So it's going to use that, but it's going to have a lot of these AI features like tracking satellites and shit. So there's a lot more that goes into that chip. This is a big chip. This is, once again, billions and billions and billions of dollars that they're putting into this, and they're going to be pumping out in the first year 3 to 5 million of these chips. So they're pretty damn confident that these chips are going to be used, or they wouldn't be making those numbers, right? They would just put a test batch out, right? They're not putting a test batch. This is like a done deal. Anyways, so it could be. What I'm saying is it could be that's why they're delayed. I just don't know what the framework is involved. You know, are they done with it, or are they still working on it? You know, I don't know. Is it going into production or not? I don't know. Let's see. Moving down, Dutch says there are tech channels that when they make videos about installing with local accounts, yes, and get real strikes with reasons that it is dangerous content and violates code of conduct. Yeah, that's just how it works. You know, it's bad. It's bad. You can't. You can only go so deep with this stuff. But yeah, I get it. And that does have to do a lot of times with AI and what it believes to be bad. Perfect example is when I cover SpaceX launch, like of the Starship. When they start playing that shit-ass elevator music in the background before or after a launch or in the middle of the launch, if I don't stop it like extremely quickly, later on, I'll end up with like a copyright strike because I used shit-ass elevator music because it was playing in the background of my live coverage. I shit you not, guys. This is just how it works, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we have to be very, adamant about watching If not, we get strikes. That's just it. That goes to you, Dutch Linux. David says 418 by 59 by 19. Holy shit. That's in Oklahoma. That's for David M. That is some really nice speed. 418 down, 59 up, and 19 milliseconds. You're hitting that sub 20. That's what Elon has said. He wants to see sub 20. Mark is in the house. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody. I am new to Starlink. Very happy with it. Mark, thank you for being here. Haven't seen your name, but I'm glad you're here. Tommy McNeely says YouTube is a bunch of asshats. But keep in mind that is their platform. Exactly. When when you're using someone's platform, you have to go by their rules, and it's just it. You just, like I said, I can scream about it, but it doesn't make a difference. You have to play by the rules, and I get it. And that's why everything we do is a learning process, and we've been doing it for a while. Almost 1,600 videos so far on this channel. And there's about 141,000 of you that are hanging out and watching them, which I appreciate. So it is what it is. If you guys haven't went over to the space station, go check that out. All right. Go check out the space station. Go to the youtube.com/JCristina, and then go to the lives, and you'll see a live that's going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Click on it. Sit back and listen, and just listen, and you can code to it. You can sleep to it. And it gives you all of the, SpaceX data. So you have the next launches that are coming up. You're getting weather reports from all 3 locations, Starbase, Vandenberg, as well as the Cape here in Florida. You're getting solar weather reports. If there's any type of solar flares that are happening, you're going to see it live. You're also getting news. Any kind of space news is going to be on there also, as well as all 8,700 SpaceX Starlinks rotating in a live hologram, let's say, real time, where they are located on the planet or around the planet. So definitely check it out. Pretty cool stuff. It took me a while to code that. There's Java in there. There is Perl script, CSS, HTML. There's a whole bunch of good stuff in there, right? And a lot of that coding was done while I was listening to that music that you hear in the background. I'm going to be doing some other music that I'm going to be putting back there. I think I might even do some music live because it's fun to do, but we'll see. That's something that I'm working on behind the scenes because I just love just learning, right? Learning. If I don't know how to do something, I want to learn it, and then I want to learn it to a degree that I master it. And then when I master it, I don't want to see it ever again. And I know that sounds just absolutely crazy, but that's just how I am. I've always been like that. And, anything you learn, you never lose. It's really good to learn. But I do it almost to an OCD type of thing, and then I just don't want to see it after I learn it, inside and out. Yeah. Let me see. Joey Aloha 808. How you doing, Joey? Does the business plan really throttle down to 1 megabit after priority data is used up? I do think so. I'm not sure if it's a 1 megabit, but I know it's slow. And then you have to buy more data. Business plan is like that. They're very stringent about the megabits that you're paying for. Because remember, it is business, and business can afford it. That's the way that's the way you look at it. That's just the way it is. Let's see. Moving on here. Mark, here we go. Dutch Linux. Samsung has bought upgrades from ASLM. ML. Dutch company, the only company that makes the lithography of chip making machines. Yeah, there's not a lot of those. People don't realize that, but that's a really good point. From their machines to make those new chips. Yeah, there's not a lot of places that actually have the ability to, at a very large scale, do the lithography for these chips, for any chips, for that matter. And to build one of these plants and those machines is extremely expensive, extremely. anyways, yeah, absolutely right, 100%. I love Starlink. This is from Oliver Russ. Thank you for being here. I love Starlink. Just moved to the Philippines. Working good. Excellent. Excellent. Best of luck in the Philippines. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. All right. Let me see what we got here. All right. We're an hour and 14 in. Let's do this. It's a Wednesday. Okay. It's a Wednesday. Once again, I will not be here on Friday, because it is All Hallows Eve. Samhain, Halloween, whatever you want to call it, right? So, and we're going to enjoy the time. So I won't be here on Friday, but I will most likely have a video for you first thing Monday. So moving into Thursday and Friday, I might put a video up between now and then, but if not, you'll see new videos first thing on Monday, and then I'm probably just solid packed for the entire week of next week. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, throw them in there right now. I'm going to hang out for the next 5 minutes, and then I'm going to call it, and I'm going to get out of here and let you guys have a good evening. So any other questions that you have, put them in there. I don't care what it is. Could be about CDNs. What the hell is a content delivery network anyways? What is it? Let's see. Gary says, happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Shannon, matter of fact. Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday over there to the birthday boy. Mo is here. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate you. Peter, of course. So the way I look at what has been going on lately with SpaceX Starlink is that they're on the cusp of some really big moves, and just hang tight for them, because I'm watching and I'm going to be reporting on them, but there's a lot to watch. Okay. There's a lot. There's the DTC, which is direct to cell, and the new spectrum that they bought. Very, very big. It's the version 3 satellites that are finally going to be placed on orbit either at the end of this year or the beginning of next. Very, very big. It's also the idea of having a Starlink version 2.0, right? Where it's decentralized, that they're getting in bed with this Muon company that will be not placing Knox or something like that on orbit, but by doing almost CDN type of stuff, doing routing, AI-based routing, and also increasing the ISL, or the intersatellite lasers, from 10 gigabit to 25 gigabit. So there is so much goodness that's happening with SpaceX Starlink right now. I think it's going to be an exciting close of this year. And I really want to see what ends up happening with the Block 3 Starship. Are they going to be able to launch one before the end of this year or not? Or are they going to move it into next? I don't know. That is a big process, because remember that Pad A, as they call it, or now Pad 1, I don't know, they keep changing, it's Pad 1, Pad 2, whatever. That pad has been now retrofitted. It's changed up for the new Block 3, and the Block 3 is completely different. It is a new ship altogether. So stay tuned for some rocky rides when it comes to the Block 3 ship launches. When we see the IFT 12, we might see that thing blow up just off the pad. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Remember, it's going to have all new Raptor engines, the Raptor 3s. It's going to have a new body. It's going to have, on the Super Heavy, it's going to have 3 fins, those air brakes, those air fins, right? Those grids, 3 instead of 4. The catch pins are going to be on the grid. They're not going to be, there's so much change. So the Starship is going to end up being able to put those satellites, the version 3s, on orbit through that PEZ dispenser door, but it's also going to have connectors that will connect from ship to ship, right? To be able to refuel, right? These quick connects. So there's just so much that is going to be changing with this Block 3. It's really exciting. So there's a lot coming. With the few people that are still here, all right, I'm going to leave this chat on for about 5 minutes. But if you want to keep chatting, once again, head over to the space station. That's what it's there for, all right? Head over there and say hello. I would appreciate that. Anyways, guys, I just want to say good evening. Have a good one. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. And hang in there for Monday, for sure. There's going to be a lot more to come. Blessings. Have a great, great end to your week and a wonderful Samhain coming up on Friday. Halloween. Halloweeny. Enjoy, guys. Take care.